Welcome to the Balanced Hustle podcast. I'm your host, Lindsay Sherman, fitness coach for burnt out perfectionist. If you're ready to break free from overwhelm, simplify your nutrition, and make fitness finally work for you instead of against you, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll dive into easy strategies to balance your health with your busy life. Let's hustle for balance, not burnout. Grab a seat and let's dive in. Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. I honestly can't even remember when the last time I recorded a podcast was. And I have just been telling myself I've had it on my to-do list for so long, and literally I use Asana and it's always on the top of my Asana in red because it's overdue that I need to record a podcast. And I've had so many other things going on that have just taken priority with client work. I've been building out a bunch of really great new client resources in our course hub, video lessons, things like that. And also being 6 months pregnant has played a part in that. So just prepping for our first baby, things like that. This has just been one of those things that it's like, if it can get done, it can get done. If it needs to take a back seat for a minute, it can do that, and that's okay. So have not got out the mic in quite a little bit. And today I actually was not planning on recording a podcast at all. I actually just got off another podcast. I was just on the Six Figure Flower Farming podcast with Jenny Marks, and she has a great Instagram account. She's called the Trademark Farmer, and if you are in flower farming, I definitely recommend that you take a follow, take a look at her page and follow her because she is awesome. And she actually came from dairy farming and fitness as well. So we had quite a bit to talk about. And that podcast will be coming out here at the end of the year. And so I'm super excited for you to listen to that. And you would think after talking for an hour on another podcast that I would not have the energy to jump on my own podcast on a whim. But what happened was I was so inspired after our conversation together, and also remembered just how much I enjoy podcasting and talking on here that I wanted to hop on. And honestly, again, this is on a whim. I have no notes and just record a quick episode. And I've been telling myself when I get back to recording, first episode back does not have to be perfect, does not have to be, the best podcast episode I've ever done. The best way to get back into things is simply by doing so. And that is what I tell my clients with fitness too. Like your first workout back does not need to be your best workout. We just need to start putting the reps in again. So this is me putting the reps in, and something that I was really inspired to talk about while I was on the podcast with her that we touched on just a little bit was the number one thing I think that women in ag need these days as we head into 2026. It's October right now, so we'll be heading into the new year soon. But the number one thing that women in ag need is community. We need support. And it was so great to be on her podcast and talk to her because I realized that when I worked in ag, when I worked in dairy farming, a lot of the time we are kind of solitary. Like we are doing our chores on our own. Of course, we work with a team, but you're feeding calves usually on your own, doing vaccines, milking cows, and maybe your team member is out bringing cows into the parlor, and you've got a lot of alone time to think and a lot of that solitary time. And I just feel like we don't often get the community that we really should have, especially doing such difficult jobs. whether you are in dairy farming, flower farming, any type of livestock, any type of crop farming. Sometimes you're spending, all day in a tractor cab by yourself, and it can get hard. And I've been in that position where you're alone with your thoughts. If you're struggling with something in your life, if you're struggling with feeling good about yourself, with fitness, with making a change that maybe you've been wanting to make for a long time, but you get home at the end of the day and you just don't feel like you have that support. I think that's what women in ag need most, especially right now. And whether it's a friend that you make, maybe you even make a friend online, or a friend who works locally to you, even if you don't work on the same farm, or maybe you find someone within your team that you can grow a stronger bond with. I think that is so important. And again, I'm a fitness and nutrition coach, and when it comes to that side of things, Of course, I will always say that getting a coach is one of the best things you can do, because you have that support, you have that accountability. When you are working in ag, there is so much that is placed on you on a day-to-day basis, physically and mentally, that of course it can feel so hard to take care of yourself at the end of the day, especially when you are the only one that is kind of watching if you do that, and giving yourself that support and talking yourself up and keeping yourself accountable. So coaching, of course, I always highly recommend, because I am a coach and I've had great experience working with my own coaches in the past. But even if it's just a friend who has the same goals, has the same ambitions as you, someone you can go to the gym with, someone that you can even relax with at the end of the day. One of my best friends in ag, we literally connected over houseplants. We used to milk cows together, and we connected over houseplants. And on our weekend days, we still do this, we would go, plant shopping, and just having someone to have that release, have that outlet with, was so huge for my mental health, and it just transferred into other areas of my life. And I found the same thing now that I've transitioned out of working directly in ag, but being able to talk to not only other women in ag about their experiences, and finally having that connection for them and for myself, but in business, having friends in business, having mentors, things like that, has been so huge in, stopping myself from getting burnout here, and allowing myself to still take the time to work out, to eat right, to wind down at the end of the day, has been so essential to continuing on and being successful and feeling good about it, and not just feeling like life is happening to me and I'm just kind of rolling with the punches, putting out fires. I feel like a lot of the time on the farm is spent putting out fires, reacting to things that are happening to you, to the farm, whether it's the weather, or maybe you have an animal who's sick or calving, or, the really could be anything. And we don't often have that kind of support and also that control in our day-to-day. So I was just so inspired to hop on here, and this is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, but I'm I just need to get on here after I've been on that podcast. It felt so good, even though I don't work directly in ag anymore, but to talk to someone about my experiences in ag, because they are so unique compared to any other field, any other industry, any other job. And every time I connect with somebody about an experience that I had in agriculture, I'm like, oh my gosh, why have I not been doing this sooner? And it's the same thing with fitness. It's the same thing, when it comes to other things in life, that it's like, why have I not leaned on someone else, and not necessarily like leaned on them to have them like help you or given them your problems, but like used the community that we have for support. And there's just so many wonderful, wonderful women in ag that I've met through coaching that I did not like ever take the opportunity to meet and to connect with while I was actually working in the field. And I try to make so much better of an effort doing that in fitness coaching, in that field, in business, with other women there. But it's just something I really wish I would have done more of in ag. So I strongly, strongly encourage you. I know that there are, classes that you can take. When I was in ag, I took a leadership class, but I just never really took that opportunity to connect with people through that experience. I just strongly encourage you to do that connecting, to intentionally reach out. And again, I'm here to talk about fitness and nutrition, but so much of your overall wellness and well-being comes from your mental health and the things that you are doing outside of the gym, outside of the kitchen, and those things. It's having those relationships and building a better mental health and mindset around everything in life. So I just want to say, I strongly encourage you, if you are feeling alone, like I know so many women do, like I used to feel in agriculture, to reach out, to make those connections. Or if you have connections, but maybe you've let them slip a little bit, you haven't had time to, check in with that friend to kind of vent about what's going on. Like maybe you've had a super busy season and you just need to vent to somebody, but you don't want to bother someone. I am sure that you are not the only one going through what you're going through if you are struggling with that right now. So highly, highly recommend it. Highly encourage you. I was just so inspired to hop on here, like I said, that I was like, I just need to talk to my audience. I need to emphasize this because my main passion and my reason for doing what I do now is to help women not be in the position that I was in when I worked in agriculture, when I burnt myself out, when I wasn't eating right, when I was just working as much as I possibly could because I was trying to prove myself, and we're trying to prove ourselves in often male-dominated fields. That's the other thing, is sometimes it's hard to connect because you're in a field where you're mostly working with men or, people that may just not understand you, right? So I just wanted to hop on here, talk about that real quick. I really wasn't sure how long this episode was going to be, but again, it's just like working out, right? Like your first workout does not need to be an hour. You can hop in the gym for 15 minutes and, get your momentum back, get started again, and still do something really, really effective. So I hope that you listened to this episode today and you were inspired to, maybe get online, seek out some groups, seek out some opportunities, maybe some workshops, some classes, or find people and connect with people in your field. Maybe rekindle a friendship or start a new friendship with someone, maybe someone you've been working with that you haven't even gotten to, talk to that much or explored getting on a deeper level with them. My friend who I met in agriculture, we literally milked cows together for like a year before we started connecting on houseplants. I was just trying to get through the day, get through the work, get through the chores, and I just wasn't taking that opportunity to get a little bit out of my comfort zone and take advantage of that. So if there's anything I think women in ag need most right now, it's making those connections and getting those things outside of the farm and on the farm that help our mindset, that help deepen, the level of meaning, of, enjoyment that we get out of what we do. And I was just so inspired to talk about that after being on her podcast. So I hope that this inspired you. I'd love to know if you are looking to do more of this. If you are looking for ways to do this, I'd love to chat about it. And you can find me over on Instagram at LindsaySherman_fitness. But yeah, get out there, make some connections, talk to people who do what you do, even if they are states away, even if it's just, online, build those friendships. That is how we are going to go far, is women supporting other women and even men too, right? I'm not excluding men, but supporting each other, helping build each other up. And that's how we can avoid that burnout, that feeling of being alone and like no one understands what you're going through, because I want you to be able to keep doing what you love for a really long time. And this is all part of how we do that. So I hope that you enjoyed this short episode back. I will do my best to pop in here with some more episodes soon. I have all kinds of ideas that I just have not gotten to yet. But if you have anything that you want to hear, please let me know in the comments or on Instagram, and I will talk to you very soon. All right, bye-bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Balanced Hustle podcast. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Be sure to leave a review or share with someone who needs a little extra balance in their hustle. For more tips, tools, and resources to help you reclaim your energy and build the strong, vibrant life you deserve, follow me on Instagram at LindsaySherman_fitness, and don't forget to subscribe here so you don't miss a single episode. Until next time, remember, progress is always better than perfection. Keep taking those small steps. They'll tell you exactly where you need to go. Talk soon.